So I've been seeing a lot of Andrew Tate and Alex Jones popping up in my feed recently, so it was just natural that they would come together and do an interview. So let's see how that goes.
Power and energy is the absolute base for any country on the planet. If you don't have energy or power, you have nothing else. You don't have security, you don't have safety, you don't have food production, you don't have absolutely anything. So they're going down to the very, very core and very, very crux of humanity now. Once power outages start becoming a mainstream thing, it's not just about not being able to turn on your television. It's about crime. It's about people dying on the street. It's about emergency services. It's about food production. It's about so many more important things, and it's truly evil. But when you get insulated like these people are at the level they're at, completely insulated from the consequences of their own actions, they're prepared to sacrifice a few pawns in their own mind to try and win the chess game. And that's what they see us as. They see us as disposable and expendable. And yes, we're living in 2022. We're living in a society and a world which is very, very technologically advanced. There is no reason for anywhere to be running out of power. We've had electricity for long enough. And when that starts happening, to believe it's some kind of
Yeah, when we start losing power, that's not because we just couldn't sustain it. That's because somebody is suppressing it and not allowing it to happen, or it's because of some other issues that people have brought on. Ooh, I hear some thunder. I think it's storming outside.
accident or coincidence is asinine. It is impossible in the current world we live in with all the current resource and all the smart people on the planet, and the fact that we all know we need electricity, and the fact that we had all the electricity we needed in the 80s to now be here 40 or 50 years later and say we can't generate electricity. That is clown world fantasy.
But Andrew Tate, we did a big interview yesterday. It's going to air on Monday, like a documentary with a bunch of clips and added factoids and information. It's going to be a big interview. He's the most Google guy in the world, and I've known him for many, many years. He's hosted the show. He's come to Austin. I know him and his brother well. Paul Watson's really good friends with him, and they're scared of him, and they're lying about who he is. So I want to play these clips. We got 4 different clips. We're just going to play these back to back. Here's some of the excerpts of the hour-long interview that's going to drop live on the.
I don't think they're actually scared of him. I don't think they're really scared of anyone. I think they just think they're better than he is, and they're mad that he thinks that he's better than them, and it's just a big back and forth.
Show Monday, but take these clips and share them everywhere. Everything we have is copyright free, free to air. Take these clips and get them out to the world because Andrew Tate's the most cool guy in the world.
I don't think that's true anymore. I think it was true for a while.
His information is liberating and is empowering, and we can get folks to come to InfoWars by promoting this. And we got a lot of great stuff with Andrew Tate that's coming up. Let's just say this. We're going to join forces in the near future, and I'm going to leave it at that. You'll hear about it in the next few weeks, but it's on like Donkey Kong. So we'll play these clips. I'll hit a bunch of other big breaking news here on this live Friday edition, but here are some preludes. Here are some hors d'oeuvres.
If something doesn't happen to Andrew Tate, I believe that he and his brother are going to be in the top richest men in the world eventually. I think it'll happen.
Here is kind of the pre-show of what's coming up on Monday. I'm really concerned about false flags ahead of the midterms. We already see them cutting the power off all over the world. They said we're going to go big with environmentalism and power outages in the undercover video from Project Veritas about 8 months ago.
If this is true, I'm going to have to look that up. Because if this is true, then I need to go faster on being self-sustainable on my property. Because I don't want my power to go off, and I like my internet. So I'm going to have to get some solar power and some wind power and water power. Get some Starlink probably. I think that'd probably be the only internet around here that would work without electricity. Would that work without? Yeah, it doesn't have to be connected to any of the grid. It's off grid. I'd have my own electricity, so that'd be fine. That should work.
Now see that happening. how do you see these control freaks striking back?
Well, this is what's scary is because power and energy is the absolute base for any country on the planet. If you don't have energy or power, you have nothing else. You don't have security, you don't have safety, you don't have food production.
I don't think that's 100% true because I think you need the trust of your people. Because if you got the trust of your people, it's like you're not getting invaded. Because these people, all of them will fight to the death everywhere you go, and they have tricks.
You don't have absolutely anything. So they're going down to the very, very core and very, very crux of humanity now. Once power outages start becoming a mainstream thing, it's not just about not being able to turn on your television. It's about crime. It's about people dying on the street. It's about emergency services. It's about food production. It's about so many more important things. And it's truly evil. But when you get insulated like these people are at the level they're at, completely insulated from the consequences of their own actions, they're prepared to sacrifice a few pawns in their own mind to try and win the chess game. And that's what they see us as. They see us as disposable and expendable. And yes, we're living in 2022. We're living in a society and a world which is very, very technologically advanced. There is no reason for anywhere to be running out of power. We've had electricity for long enough. And when that starts happening, to believe it's some kind of accident or coincidence is asinine. It is impossible in the current world we live in with all the current resource and all the smart people on the planet, and the fact that we all know we need.
I think my lights are flickering because it's storming outside. That would be so ironic if my power goes out while I'm doing this. He's talking about power outages. I hope the power doesn't go out.
Electricity, and the fact that we had all the electricity we needed in the 80s to now be here 40 or 50 years later and say we can't generate electricity. That is clown world fantasy.
And the globalists said they were going to cut the power off. They cut off thousands of coal power plants here alone while China builds 3 a week.
I think that it's very, very important that we understand if we do not hang together, we will hang one by one. And it's important.
Ooh, I like that. Oh. Power flickered again.
For people to sit here and think, well, he got banned. Maybe he was too extreme. This guy got banned. Maybe he said this one bad thing once. He got banned. Maybe the media has a point. They don't have a point. If they had a genuine point and they weren't.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to check out the weather. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's a giant storm. It ain't here yet, but she's a coming. Here's all being annoying. I can feel it on top of my head. Okay. Back to the Andrew Tate.
Afraid of open debate and discourse, then nobody would be getting banned at all. And they're pushing things far too close to the barrier, and they're doing that on purpose because they fear different ideas. I do believe that God has a plan for the world, and his plan is not to allow these people to completely and utterly burn it to the ground. I do believe that we're in a period of a redemption arc for humanity, and things have gotten dark now, but a ball always hits the bottom before it bounces to the top. But it's very important the people who are awake and the people who understand not only try and educate as many people as possible, but also support each other and also support the leaders like yourself and like myself who are out here taking on the risk and the responsibility of being completely deplatformed, depersoned, having serious threats on our safety and security to try and tell the truth. It's been a very interesting few years, and we've seen what happens when people don't have a voice and don't stand up and try and repel against these systems. I really do think that the acts that have happened across these last few years in the name of trying to save lives for COVID have been genuinely criminal. And I don't think they would have tested this kind of system or tested this kind of censorship and repression to just stop it and go back to normal. I think it was a test of a system, and they intend on coming in harder than ever before with some new story and some new excuse later on down the line. And it gets to a point where you finally have to stand up and realize that you cannot run from what is going to come to you. You cannot escape it. You cannot hide. You cannot deny it. You get to a point where you understand you need to find people who are like-minded and stand up. And the best way you can stand up at this current point in time is just to educate others and just to highlight the injustices which are being purported by these systems. My banning was absolutely and utterly unjust. I never broke any terms.
I find myself having a hard time disagreeing with this man. I don't. I do disagree with a lot of his actions, but a lot of his words, I agree with it.
Terms of service. They know that. The whole world knows that now. And the public sentiment is on my side. And the more people talk about this and the more people discuss this and tell others and educate others, the harder it's going to be for them to keep this curtain, this iron curtain of theirs, over the truth, because that's all they truly want to do.
They have shut us down. This is warfare against the West because the Western ideal cannot operate when the globalists have all these other countries under slavery. People will aspire to Western freedom, and so it has to be gotten rid of. Can you speak to that?
Oh, yeah, completely and utterly. And they have to change society and change the basis on which society is run. Society was run in the West on the premise of freedom. You can come to the West, and if you comply with the law, we will provide you with freedom. They've realized that, like you said, that doesn't give them enough control. And that's what tyrants are obsessed with. So they want to replace freedom with safety, because it's the only thing that people will accept.
Safety is freedom, right? That's what they tell us.
Except their freedom being taken away for. We're going to take all your freedom away, but don't worry, you're going to be safe. You'll be safe from the common cold. You'll be safe from whatever else.
How can you be free if you're dead?
So they're trying to destroy our freedoms and replace it with safety. Now, to replace freedom with safety, you need to convince people that they're in danger. How do you do that? Well, you either create a media spin and convince everyone the common cold is somehow deadly, or what you can do is you can cause blackouts, cause mass crime rates to increase, cause mass famine, and put people in danger for real. Because when they're in real danger and they're really scared, then they'll really sign up for safety.
I always assume that danger is just around the corner. So far, it's been a good way to live. I'm not like on my toes or scared all the time, but I'm prepared for a lot of things just in case.
Safety. If there's only going to be one town in the whole state that has electricity, you're going to agree with whatever piece of paper they make you sign, whatever rules you have to agree to, you're going to agree to get in. And that's what they're trying to do.
And they admit that. Club of Rome, Bilderberg Group, and its spokesperson, Klaus Schwab, WEF, says we're going to get rid of the old system. That's the Great Reset to build back better. And you're going to have a universal basic income with programmed tokens that tell you where and how and when you can spend that money. I mean, that is beyond the mark of the beast.
Oh, absolutely. Because if anybody understands the world, understands that every single system on the planet is absolutely and utterly corrupt. The judicial system's corrupt. The law system's corrupt. The medical systems are now corrupted. Everything's corrupt. So any system that involves humanity at any level is going to have a degree of corruption. And if you think they're going to give you these tokens and it's going to be somehow fair and non-corrupt, you are a idealist at best and an idiot at worst, probably a combination of the two. I often say to people, if you go to a poker game and there's no referee and there's $5,000 at stake, do you think people would cheat without any kind of referee? And people say, well, yeah, probably. So if you understand that people will cheat in a poker game or a basketball game for menial amounts of money without any kind of judge or referee, how are you going to sit and then believe that the most powerful people on the planet to control nations and control entire populaces are not going to cheat and bend the rules? Of course they are. This is human nature.
And that's how they got there in the first place, most of the time. I think Elon Musk was kind of an exception, but he was a little questionable on whether or not he cheated in some places. I know that he definitely talked up what he was doing a lot and didn't come through on what he was talking about, such as the Cybertruck and the self-driving cars that aren't really self-driving. But I can forgive all that because the technology is cool and only getting cooler, I think.
Absolutely what they're going to do. They're not going to risk losing. So they're going to cheat and lie and be corrupt their entire way. That's the only thing they're interested in is absolute and utter power.
Ladies and gentlemen, people decided 500 years ago in Europe to stop the old system of tyranny and to try to create liberty for our children, and it produced incredible wealth and power. Now that's all being erased. Stand with Andrew Tate. Stand with Steve Bannon. Stand with InfoWars. And remember, I can't fight the war against these people without your support. If you don't support us, they're going to win. If you fight back and support us and buy products at InfoWarsStore.com, we're going to stay on air. But we need your support now. InfoWarsStore.com. Amazing products.
Yeah, he's got like the GDP of France or like I don't know, Germany or something, some smaller country like that. I know France definitely. GDP of India, GDP of India. How's that? He's got to pay for that, so go buy his shit.
We have Diet Force back in stock. Brain Force Plus, Brain Force Ultra, and this Ultimate Greens formula, 50% off, back in stock. Go there now.
You know how to really stick it to the establishment, become the world's richest man, and pay off the biggest fine that one single man has ever had in all of human history.
Buy the product and share the live feeds. One more Andrew Tate clip straight ahead, and then a bunch of more news. Stay with us. World fertilizer supply has been cut by 40%. The UN predicts hundreds of millions to starve to death. That's where we are. That's what the lockdowns did. That's the real world we're living in. And if you think you're immune from the starvation and death the globalists are carrying out against the third world, think again. That's what we're fighting. And now we have this eugenicist, depopulationist, new king of England that is being put in charge. This is just an incredible moment. He's deeply embedded with the World Economic Forum and their programs. But as I said, I interviewed Andrew Tate yesterday. We're adding a bunch of clips and documentation, and it's going to be huge. On Monday, we're going to be airing it. But here is one more clip, a little prelude to what's coming up, where he talks about the system's afraid of real masculine men. Here it is. You said it, aspire to something. Young people aren't aspiring to anything. The left teaches them to be lazy, to be victims, to be depressed, and that's cool. No, when you're fighting in a business or for your family or for your life or getting up to go to your friend's house when they need your help, and then them helping you, that's the real brotherhood, the sisterhood, the human community of being a clan. And we're one human species that needs those goals. And so people need to aspire and say, I want to be successful, because it's not even getting to the success that matters. It's aspiring to it is what you're supposed to do, because you've got to have a purpose-driven life and a mission. And these young people need a mission, and you're giving them a mission.
Absolutely. And what's actually interesting is it's extremely hypocritical, because when the hits the fan, when they need soldiers to go die in a war, when they need firemen to charge into a burning building, when they need police officers to hopefully save children in a school shooting and not just stand outside, when they need real men to go do real things, then they call on the men like me and the men who think like me. Then they want the men who are brave, who are masculine, who have tenets of masculinity, who have honor, who have duty. Then they want us. But as soon as they don't want us to go risk our lives to protect them, they say we're not allowed opinion, we're not allowed to think, we're not allowed to talk, and we should be depersoned and deleted. They try and use us absolutely and utterly, because society needs men like us, and I'm the one who's been speaking up for them. They also pretend they give a shit about men's mental health. You told me one example about how I helped your friend. I have hundreds of thousands of emails for young men I've helped, and older men who I've helped with their mindset and helped with their approach towards life. I have genuinely changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of people for the better.
I don't know about hundreds of thousands. I'd have to look into that. Most definitely like tens of thousands. Just because of like his donations and foundation that he has.
Giving a shit about men and giving a shit about men's mental health, while deleting me, the person who helps them the most, and saying they're going to replace me with some algorithm matrix agent bot like Logan Paul, who nobody respects and doesn't want to listen to. It's bullshit. If they gave a shit about men's mental health, they'd leave me up there to inspire the youth. They don't care. All they care about is narrative control.
Are you going to get in the ring with Logan Paul?
Let's hope for his sake it never happens, because he doesn't want to get hurt that badly. I just find it very interesting what happened to me, and probably the same thing happened to you. During my banning, I saw in real time and learned which public figures, which talking heads, which are allowed to have a platform by the Matrix, actually have any kind of degree of character, and which ones will instantly bend, break, and swap and change their opinion on you overnight because somebody above them told them they have to. You get to learn in real time who actually sticks up for you and is true, and some people are, and which ones just instantly cave and comply. You'd be amazed how many people have absolutely no moral fiber.
All right, so that interview drops Monday. That was about 8 minutes of it. And powerful, I don't say something's powerful unless it's powerful. That was powerful. And Dr. Andrew Wakefield
Yeah, I'm probably going to listen to it.
is powerful because he went through hell and was demonized and lied about by the corporate press. Same way I've been. Total misrepresentations, but it came out a decade later. What he said was dead on in the research, and they falsified the reports on him. He is uniquely positioned. He's in that green room right there. He'll be here with us in about 10 minutes in the studio to speak to. They lied about the shot. Doesn't protect you. 9 out of 10 dying have been triple jabbed. Incredible information. He'll be responding to that. And when you share this information, it's going to save lives. They have record low vaccine uptake now all over the Western world, not just the poison mRNA gene therapy shots, but all the shots. I'm not against inoculation. I know there's real technology. You get a small part of something that's bad, and then your body learns how to beat it. But what are they Trojan horsing in there? Why do they have liability protection?
Yeah, that's why I don't like the vaccines anymore. Like sometimes I've had them, so I don't really have much to say on the fact of not getting them. I didn't get the COVID one. But when are they gonna start putting in things and not telling us? Or are they already doing that? And are they telling us that they're doing it and we're just not paying enough attention? I have no idea. I don't trust it though, because I don't trust the government, and I don't trust the people that are in the government. I don't trust the people who seek the power of being in the government. So, yeah, that's my stance on that.
What are all these secret deals they've done? Why did they sequence the COVID-19 years before they released it? That's coming out in the European Union Parliament. We played that first hour. It's all coming up next hour. This is just as important as Andrew Tate or Steve Bannon. Families, masculinity, human drive, strength, free speech, nationalism, populism, capitalism, prosperity, and medical freedom. That's coming up next hour. But I'll tell listeners again, we're toe-to-toe with George Soros. We're toe-to-toe with the New World Order. And we can't continue to prosecute this fight without you. So I want to thank all the listeners that have supported us over the years and commend you. But I want to tell the listeners that tune in by the millions every day that have never gone to InfoWarsStore.com, never bought a great product, never got a t-shirt, never got a water filter, never got one of our great supplements.
We're getting slowly to the point of at the end of V for Vendetta, when all the people are standing out on the streets with the masks because they're going after the one guy. But how are you going to go after him when literally everyone is that guy?
Just ask you, I mean, who's fighting for you? I just want to win this fight. And I can't do it without you. So I want to encourage those that have been on the fence and never gone to InfoWarsStore.com to go there today, because we've got so many great products back in stock. Our Greens Fiber product is all of the key known, like wheatgrass,
This guy keeps selling me products.
alfalfa and cilantro concentrates for your body's immunity, for your intestines' health, for your overall vitality. I mean, this is such a great product.
I think I trust Luke Rudkowski more.
Back in stock for being sold out for a year because of supply chain breakdowns. 50% off. What's 40% off is Diet Force. I'm still a fat ass, but I lost 40-something pounds taking this in just the last few months. You've all seen it. It's all the known concentrated herbs and compounds that naturally help speed up your metabolism like you're a younger person to burn that fat. Diet Force, back in stock, 40% off. Then the nootropics, 2 different formulas, 2 different deals. We went out and created Brain Force Plus 5-6 years ago.
If Alex Jones is advertising that you should use these because I'm using them, just look at him and listen to him. Nootropics, do you really want to be in the mindset that Alex Jones is in? I don't know if that's a good sell, man.
Well, the first Brain Force came out, and then the FDA banned one of the ingredients. So when you change it, you got to change the label. So it's Brain Force Plus, got a new ingredient that's just as good or maybe even better. And it's 5 to 6 hours of clean energy that doesn't give you a letdown, that's healthy and good for your body. InfoWarsStore.com, Brain Force Plus is 50% off. And then Brain Force Ultra is, nobody's got this formula. It kicks in really fast, lasts 2 to 3 hours, and then you can sleep and feel great after it. No letdown. It's really something special. Everybody should enjoy and experience Brain Force Ultra, exclusively available at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. All I can tell you is every listener needs one of these. They'll be sold out soon.
No, I'm not listening to another ad. Come on now. So Andrew Tate, interesting fellow. Alex Jones, even more interesting. I don't like that he's trying to sell me a bunch of products that I'm never gonna buy. Maybe he should get into some products that people actually want to buy. But Andrew Tate, I believe that what he is being found guilty for is not what he should be found guilty for, but he can't be found guilty for the things that he's done because that would expose the Romanian government and possibly the United States government and a lot of other powerful people, and that can't happen. So he's gonna get away with like the bribery, but like everybody does that in Romania. So well, I don't see the big deal about it. 'Cause I don't think he's an evil person. I don't think he's done a lot of bad things, but I don't think he's a bad person. I've done some bad things. But I don't know if I'm a good judge on whether or not I'm a good person, because who knows if they're really a good person or not. A lot of evil people think that they're the greatest, so